Speaker, my question is to the Acting Premier. Speaker, for over 100 years, rural families and farms from Chatham Kent have had access to clean, clear and safe well water from ancient aquifers deep underground. That is, until water on family farms that surround Samsung's North Kent 1 wind turbine site became black and undrinkable when Samsung began pile driving into the aquifer to support the construction of turbines. This Liberal government says that the water is safe to drink. And when I last posed this question to the government, I was ejected from this chamber for offering the minister a drink of water to take a sample. But, Speaker, I don't blame the minister for not wanting to jeopardize his own health. No reasonable person would. But why does this government refuse to initiate a health hazard investigation for the residents and rural families to protect them from exposure to a known toxicant?
Thank you.
Speaker, Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Well, thank you, Speaker, and thank you to the member opposite for a very important question, because it is important, Speaker, that that government protect the quality of drinking water, just as it does the quality of air and the quality of our land. You know, groundwater quality, it's taken very seriously, and we are actively, Speaker, holding the company accountable for addressing the complaints related to changes in well water quality. The ministry, Speaker, has undertaken a review of water quality data to ensure residents that their water is safe to drink. Thus far, Speaker, the analysis has not shown a connection between water quality and construction activity. The company has informed the ministry that it's working with homeowners where they are supplying alternative water supplies to provide and pay for a licensed well contractor to inspect their wells and answer any questions they may have, Speaker. We've also had a very productive meeting with representatives from Water Wells First about 2 weeks ago, and the ministry staff shared the results of our findings.
Supplementary.
Speaker, I provided the Premier and the Minister a copy of a report commissioned by EBS Structural, who were contracted to construct supports for Hydro 1 transmission towers that carry the hydro from the North Kent wind turbines in question. In a shocking discovery, EBS Structural ruled out the use of traditional deep foundations such as caissons and driven pile as not feasible due to the following, quote, the potential for driven pile to cause issues with nearby active water wells. That's a smoking gun, Speaker. Even Hydro 1 knew that pile driving would contaminate nearby wells. It's unacceptable that this Liberal government is taking the word of Samsung over Ontario families. Is the Premier inviting a lawsuit from the Chatham Kent families for the cleanup costs of removing black shale from their households? And is your government fully prepared to pick up the cost indefinitely with the associated health costs? And will you follow when you tell all Ontarians that black shale is now safe to drink for all Ontarians?
Thank you. Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Speaker. You know, I want to go back and reiterate what I said earlier, that we've had a productive meeting with representatives from Water Wells First about 2 weeks ago. At that meeting, we shared our results about our extensive testing, Speaker. We're waiting to hear still from Water Wells First for the data that they say they have. I would be really appreciative of if we could get our hands on it so we could look at their data. But the data that has been collected on our behalf, Speaker, we have shared with Water Wells First. You know, again, after thorough testing, Speaker, the ministry has found no evidence of any ongoing or permanent impact to water quality related to wind turbine construction in the area. And I want to close, Speaker, by reiterating what I said at the very beginning. You know, we take these concerns very carefully, and we're holding the company accountable to address these complaints.
Thank you.